Okay, so real quick, you'd have to be blind, deaf, crippled, and crazy not to see what's going on in the world right now. It's pretty interesting. Um, what I wanted everybody to do for me, we're all in census, whether you're 100% active like I am, learning like you guys are, or you're a superstar like a Jane Shin or Alan Tracy Weathers. It is important. Yeah, there she go. There you go. It, it's,
Hey,
it's,
you guys.
it's important to me. Well, you know what? Now that since you put your picture on there, that's Dornita. All right.
Hi, guys.
All right. That's Dornita. It's important to me to let each of you guys know that I want you guys to continue to follow your dreams because it's super, super, super important. And I just had a special guest chime in there. Okay. Let me see if she jumps on. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, everybody on this team has started with census for a particular reason. You know, whether you're like me trying to educate the world so we can protect Black people. Real quick, this is Miss Idelia. She's the young lady that I had the conversation with earlier, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning where she is, and I invited her to jump
Wow.
in. Yeah, I know. Wow. Yeah, if she could do this at 2 o'clock in the morning, we better not ever miss a BPM. I'm just saying, you know. But Miss Adelia, I'm going to get to you shortly. But I want everybody to continue to use census and remember why you're in census. Where like I said, whether you're fully active or you're just partially active, use it for what it's for. Because the whole purpose of census is for not for you to be dedicated to census, but for you to be dedicated to your future. And I really want you guys to appreciate that. I mentioned that because I had a meeting on Friday that I'm really excited about. Really excited. So you guys know how political I am. And I got a chance to talk to one of the school board candidates about, he wanted my vote, and I told him I'd already voted. And instead of just jumping off the phone, he wanted to hear some of my ideas. And a couple of the ideas that I've been trying to champion here in Paramount is trying to get people to allow me to introduce financial education to the high school curricula and first year college curricula. Mm-hmm. We understand that our high school students, it seems like many of them go straight from school to prison even before they graduate from high school. They financially, they don't get enough information. And I also want to be able to add courses to help them understand or better understand the current laws that we have in whatever state or federal, state and federal laws that we have available. Because if you understand what the laws are, if you understand how to manipulate money, you have a better chance of surviving this system right after you get out of high school. It is unfortunate that our parents don't always have the information available to them to be able to transfer to the children, right? So if we can add more of this information in our high schools and our first year college curricula, I think we can better prepare our kids, because we're always preparing our kids to either go to college or go get a good job, but we don't prepare them how to navigate their lives, right? We don't really tell them, hey, let's make sure you turn left when you're supposed to turn right. Let's make sure you don't. I mean, thou shalt not kill, that's for sure, but it's a good idea not to beat the heck out of your wife too. I'm just saying. So a lot of things that might be common aren't so common, especially when you're coming from a family that might not know or might not have practiced a lot of these things that you and I, all of us, know to be correct. So I was really excited about that, and for me to have this conversation with him and knowing how I didn't even know this, but apparently I'm really popular, and a lot of people are starting to They're like, you need to talk to this guy. You need to talk to this guy. You need to talk to this guy. And they're asking me for my endorsement and all this. It makes me feel good, but it's like, okay, well, if I'm this popular, how about I use some of this popularity to try to get these people to help me inform the people so we can stop seeing our Black kids get shot in the back. You know what I'm saying? Stop seeing our families losing their properties and all their money, and stop seeing people dying with nothing to give to their children. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely sick of that. So that's something I'm really happy. And if I can get it just to, on a voluntary basis in any high school or any college, I'm gonna call that a victory. I'm gonna call that a win. And if it works out well, it can actually get expanded to the, the city council can discuss it and actually make it an actual part of the machine that we have in the city and possibly add it to the school district. So that's a really big deal to me. And I owe that to Census because the information that I'm sharing, I was taught from Census, right? So that's why I'm like, I wanted to tell each of you, with everything that's going on, regardless of Trump wins or Biden wins, your goal, your mission still the same. Whatever you're doing this for, it's still the same. Whatever your dream is, it's still the same. You still have the same number of opportunities. You might have a couple of obstacles added to it, depending on who wins, but you still have the same dream and you still have the same opportunities that were available to you pre-November 3rd, as well as post-January 20th. You have it. And I'm gonna do everything I can to help you guys with that. So I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to talk about everybody expanding their level of reach to everybody. Right now, many of you, I got one guest on the line and she's in London right now. I want to introduce Miss Adelia over here.
Wow.
Say hi, Miss Adelia.
Hello. I mean, hello to you.
She's muted out right now.
No,
Go ahead and say hi, Mr. Delia, please. Let me see. Maybe you don't know how to do it. There we go. All right, here we go. Woohoo!
Okay, shalom everybody. Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, she's so insanely nice. And I'm like, she spoiled me rotten, because like I said, I spent the entire day getting in trouble.
Right.
And I get in trouble all the time because I actually have 3 guests on this line. And, a couple of people on the team didn't jump on, but I'm recording this, so I want to let you guys know this. I also have a Miss Feedy Red on the line. Miss Feedy, can you unmute yourself, please? Say hi to everybody.
Hello, Miss Dee Dee. You said Dee Dee, right, Tony?
Feedy, F-E-D-I-E.
Oh,
Hi, Miss Feedy.
how you doing?
We can't hear you. I know you working those glasses though, but we can't hear you. Okay, well, I'm gonna see what she says. She's saying I'm a really good looking guy and my head is working. No, that ain't what she said. That's what my ego said. Let's stop that. So your sound is not working, dear. So, but I'm glad you jumped on. I was actually hoping that you could say a few words. So let's see what you got. Got to fix that sound there. Okay. Well, while you're working on your sound, I actually have another guest on here, Miss Quantina Franklin. And Quantina Franklin is actually going to speak on something I wanted to bring with you guys last, but since Miss Feedy is working on her sound, I invited Miss Franklin on because I wanted to talk to everybody about balance. And for me, balance is important because I suck at it. Absolutely. I can't speak on it because I'm not good at it. And Miss Franklin has been very, very patient with me on me getting my balance. So let me introduce y'all to Miss Franklin. Say hi, Miss Franklin.
Hi, Miss Franklin. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
All right, Miss Franklin, you got the floor. I want people to hear what you got to say.
I didn't know I was going to be first. Okay.
I was first.
I do want to share a little bit about balance because there is so much going on in the world right now, just in reference to work, family, politics, religion. There's so much going on right now where it's easy to be distracted from the things that we should be doing when it comes to balance. I know when it comes to work, I will say, first of all, I'm a single mom, so there's a lot of different hats that I wear where balance is very important. Just being a mom alone, being in a situation where I'm working from home now, and I'm a minister as well. I didn't really want to go into that, but it's really heavy on my spirit. Just dealing with so much at a time and feeling that we have to be here, we have to be there, we have to be everywhere at one time. And balance is very important in this timing because Being in a situation where we actually seen the pandemic happen, and you can go from living this fantabulous life to the next day your entire world changes. And I believe if someone has the power to actually do that, as far as to change your entire world, in that moment, it's like we all become the same. I know we're dealing with a lot of racism. We're dealing with so much right now, but to be able to sustain balance in this time is very important. And when I talk about balance, I'm saying balance. I know balance comes with order. Sometimes we think about balance and we focus on our job first, and we have to make money, take care of the family, but we have to remember that things have to be done in order. We can't continue to focus on making so much money and working so hard for the people that we love, while at the same time we're unable to spend time with the people that we love. It's kind of like instead of working that regular 9 to 5, we're working 12, 13, 14 hours, 16 hours a day, and we're saying that we're doing it for our family, but this is the same family that we don't see, the same family that we don't spend time with, even when it comes to our children. I'm not sure of how many of you on here are parents, but being a mom, I actually have a 23-year-old, 22, 11, and a 4-year-old, 8-year-old, I'm sorry. And even though we're all under the same roof, it's like everyone has their own needs and their own desire when it comes to mom, when it comes to dad, when it comes to mom and dad. And that time is very important because, again, we can't continue to talk about how we do these things for our family when the real thing our family needs is time, our time. And even for the ones of those that may not have children, even when it comes to ourselves, we have to find time for ourselves as well. I know a lot of people that I know, even myself in the past, work so hard that it affected my health. And I know at times we focus on, wanting to be at work, wanting to be that person at the job, wanting to be the employee of the month when we're not even that number one person at home. Even when it comes to ourselves, like I said, even for the people, and these are things that we have to focus on. Again, I told Tony that there's 2 things that I don't like to talk about, and that's things that I don't have knowledge of and things that I can't relate to. When I do minister, it's a little bit easier because I'm able to minister according to things that I've experienced in my life. I don't like to talk about things that I haven't experienced because I can't reach people that way. But I did want to talk about balance, and this is not something that I've always had, but it was something that I had to learn to gain. And again, balance comes with order. We know that, and this is just me, we're living, at least I understand, that we're living, personally, I believe that we're living in the last days. I believe that very strongly. Again, I don't want to hit too much on religion, but it's important to really focus on the things that matter is what I'm saying. And when I mean that, I'm talking about in marriages, again, single people married, whatever it is, your job will be there. You can't, when it comes to, and I'm trying so hard to stay away from religion, but it just keeps coming to my spirit. The Bible says that God will never put more on you than you can handle. So my thing, if it's too heavy for you, then it's not for you. Even if it's your job, to be honest, even in relationships, even with your children, it's very important to focus on the things that you're able to do and that you're able to handle versus the thing that you can't. Sometimes you might have to just walk away from the desk. Sometimes you may have to just take a walk or clock out when you're supposed to clock out. We can't be Superman and Wonder Woman in the world that we have no control over, to be honest with you. I don't know why I'm feeling family, but I just keep feeling family and how important it is for your family to come first. Again, you can't continue to say, I'm making all this money for my kids to live a certain way or for my house to be a certain way when you can't even enjoy it. Why bust your butt and make all this money that you can't even enjoy? Why spend so much time at work, and this just being real, working for someone else, or even in your own business, doing these things when you can't even enjoy it? I had to explain that to my daughter. She's in nursing. She work, but you can't even enjoy the money that you're making. So don't continue to try to do so much because you're overwhelmed. Now you're sick. Now you're tired. You're too tired to enjoy the money that you're working, while your same boss that you're working for out chilling with their family, kicking it with their kids and going on vacations. And then now here you can't even leave work while your child is sick. I used to feel funny sometimes at work when I would hear young mothers say, well, my kid gets sick, I'm leaving, and like, it's my kid. And I used to be like, okay, so well, how you gonna take care of your child, all right? But now I understand when the boss kids have a game, a baseball game or a basketball game, they gone for the whole day. But then if you leave and your child is sick, it's an issue. So my thing is to prioritize. You have to do things in order. And even with balance, it comes with order. You can't say, well, I'm balanced, but I'm putting my job first and then my house. I understand that, you know, the finances have, but there's an order of things. Even with your health, you have to be so focused on you, because you can't continue to go into this place and work, and then you're unhealthy, because to be honest, you're no good for your family or your job, to be real. So I just kind of wanted to hit on that a little bit, because I can go so many places with that. But again, this was something that I had to learn, and I'm still going through the process of it, because sometimes I have to pull away. Even when it comes to work, when it comes to ministry, sometimes you have to pull away and say, you know what, I'm only going to do what I need to do today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the next day. What do I need to do today? My lights are on today. My gas is on today. My kids are safe today. And we can't continue to focus on mentally, because mentally you lose it. You can't focus on what we're going to do later on. And just to be real, even with the politics and the things, we can't really focus on what's going to happen later on down the line. What can I do today? What can I do today? Who can I show some love to today? Who can I encourage today? Versus, well, you woke up this morning, you took care of your kids, you told them you love them, I hope. To me, if that's all you do throughout the day, you've done what you needed to do. And it starts with your family. So I really, really wanted to hit on that. Again, I know that this is a process that we all go through, but it's very important to prioritize your balance, because again, you can have balance even in a time like this. I'm just a little witness of that where I am. In the pandemic, I've been more blessed mentally. I'm not talking about just financial. You can have financial stability, but if you don't have no mental stability, then what's the use? What's the use to have all the money if you don't have the mind to know what to do with it? So at the end of the day, I really thank you, Tony, for giving me an opportunity to speak, because I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot where we just kind of feel like we're all over the place. We're all over the place. We're trying to get to work. We're trying to keep our jobs. And at the end of the day, it's like, what really matters? There's a lot of things that we do, to be honest, just to be real, is meaningless. It's meaningless. You know, work. You're sick. You're not eating. I'm just gonna smile. You're not eating right. Tony, you know, you have to prioritize. It's very important to balance and only focus on today. We're not focused on tomorrow. We're not focused on next year. Like I said again, one day everyone's living right. The next day, the government has the power to shut everything down. So now what you gonna do? Church closed, now what? Your job is closed, now what? You still end up back in that same place, which is with your family and in the home. And to me, that's an opportunity to build relationships. Even if it's just simply, I love you in the morning, or your kids have a good day at school, or what did you learn today? It's very important. So I just wanted to share that, because you know I can talk all day.
Well, one thing I can tell y'all know, I can't speak for everybody else, but she was tagging me, man.
Yeah, a lot of us.
Good.
That was
No,
wonderful.
powerful. That's good.
I don't have any rebuttal. Yes, ma'am. That's all I got. Miss Feedy Red, do you have your sound working now, dear?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes, we got
Can you hear
loud.
me?
I hear you loud and clear, ma'am. So let me give a preamble for you, because, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning out there in London. Miss Feedy and I, we were talking about the judicial system and some of the challenges. Eugene, he's actually in the criminal justice system as well, lieutenant. And some of the things that Miss Red and I were discussing, I just had to get her on the line with all of you, because once again, you understand why I'm so passionate about census and what it does. But I'm passionate not for census. I'm passionate for what we can do for our community. And I just wanted to introduce Miss Red to everybody, and for her to share a couple of thoughts on the lines of what we discussed the other day. So Miss Red, please take the floor.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Warfield. I did have such a fascinating discussion with Mr. Warfield on the other day, and we were talking about the criminal justice system and also the courts. And I have noticed that we as a community, no matter where we're located, we don't seem to actually take the judicial system serious. We don't know much about it. We don't familiarize ourselves with what's going on in picking judges and how these judges are deciding our cases. Many of the judges in the United States are allowing bad cops, rogue cops, to get away with basically murder when it comes down to people of color. That doesn't just affect Black people. It's also happening to Hispanic people, people of many colors, ethnicities. And the problem is that we're not adding when it comes to lawyers in our communities. Our children are not aspiring to become lawyers. They're not aspiring to become doctors. They're basically aspiring to be rappers or entertainers. Enough of that. We don't need any more entertainers. We need lawyers. We need people in the community that are able to run for these positions, these judicial positions. We need to position ourselves as a community to actually run people. When they graduate law school, let's fund them to run as judges. It takes money to do that. It takes us to get to know the chairperson, the chair people who actually you can go to in the community to run for elective office. So if you familiarize yourself with, I know in where I live, it's a guy, he's the chairman, Jacobs. He's been running things for a long time. So many of us, I know that in this past election, I already voted, early voting. I saw my ballot, and the ballot downstream had nothing but 5 judges. They ran on the right to life. They ran on the Republican. They ran on the Democrat. They ran on every single, the conservative. They ran on every single, the line. They ran on every line. No challenges. So they get on these they get into these judicial positions, and they are promoted. That's how they get to the Supreme Court. This is how we get a Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, because we are not educated in our communities to vote educatedly, if that's a word, in picking judicial people when they're running for family court. Those are serious judicial positions. They are promoted from there to the next court, to the district court, from the district court to the Supreme Court of that particular state. Then they go from there to the federal court. So, and then they can go like a Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court or Amy Coney Barrett. And these people decide cases against our children. They decide whether they're going to lock our children up or free our children. They decide whether our children will be, spend the rest of their lives in jail. And we do not have a stronghold in voting for judicial nominations in our counties, in the surrogate court. We're not familiar with the courts. We ask for particular judge, lawyers to handle our cases. I've been in a setting with lawyers and they're negotiating. You might have a guy who you think is going to get you some accident money. He's in there negotiating. He knows the guy on the other side. They're in there negotiating, talking about you. And they lowball us most of the time. And so it's imperative that we start to get some type of fund where we can fund our young people to go to law school. Because it's hard. They don't want to do all that time in law school. Even adults, they don't want to do that time in law school. So we need to really finds a way as a people to get together to send our children to law school, to medical school. We have a lot of talented, we are brilliant, we were always kings and queens. We need to find a way to provide funding to young people instead of encouraging them to be the next rapper, the next basketball player, the next, the next football player. We need to start to break that glass ceiling and have our children enter into law.
Can I ask you a question, Miss Rad?
Sure.
So my name is Dornita, and I know most of us probably have voted already, but what would you suggest for some of us who are, we have friends and we speak on these things, but we can't seem to organize our thoughts or get these things across, like especially on social media, to start thinking about the legal system, the judicial system, even as we understand that, sorry, I got a call coming in, sorry. Even though we understand that it's very imperative and important, how do you encourage, how would you tell me, even though the voting has already voted, okay, Dornita, these are some of the things where you may start. Like, how about if you look into this or you look into that, to jumpstart your interest in finding out who are the judicial candidates in your area, or who's running what and how they're running it, and what's their history and how they've ran things so far, etc.
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that, because I specifically asked for a mocked ballot. I went to my, I'm sorry, I just came in from North Carolina, and I am in the dark up here right now.
Okay.
So, I asked them for a sample ballot.
Okay.
I went to my, oh gosh, wait a minute, let me get this straight now. I went to where I dropped off my ballot. Okay,
Right,
so
right, okay.
go where you drop off your ballot.
Yeah, I put mine in a box, but ballot box, but yeah, okay.
You ask
like you could get it like, okay, a sample
to give
ballot.
you a sample. Everybody is entitled to a sample ballot. Your county, you go to the county
electoral or something.
Electoral. The county
electorate or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you ask them for a sample ballot.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I don't know if everybody can see this, but as I was telling you, if you look at this ballot, you can see that the Justice of Supreme Court vote for up to 8. They are on every line. Valerie Cartwright is on every line. So all you do is go to the county, your county, say if you I live in Nassau County. Okay. So Nassau County has a Board of Electors. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I just came in.
No, it's okay.
Board of Electors. And you go there and you say to them, listen, I need a sample ballot. Okay. Plain and simple. Okay. And so when they give you that sample ballot, you can go to your friends and your family and say, look at this. This is crazy. And then you start talking to people about it, like I'm saying to you and everybody on this call. Then you pick this up and you say, this is not right. It's something not right when judges are running unopposed.
Right. Exactly.
They're running unopposed in the Supreme Court. They're running unopposed in the county court judge for the county court judgeship. They're running unopposed in family court. And unfortunately, a lot of people of color have to go in the family court. These judges literally elevate to the next level. They come
Mhm.
from family court to surrogate court, from surrogate court to Supreme Court, then from the Supreme Court to the federal court, and you can't do anything. Now, there is something that is called the robing.
Mhm.
In America, you can rate all federal judges. If they
Oh,
have
okay.
done something bad, it's called the robing. And so you can report those judges, how they did and how you think they did, what you
Wow.
think they did, how they conducted the hearing. But now this is something that I'm going to share with the panel here. I talked to Mr. Warfield the other day. We had a conversation. I said, I'm going to post this on my website. I did. And I have a lawyer, very, very, high-powered lawyer on my Facebook page. And the person contacted me. I sent him the text, the messenger. She said to me, can you take that down?
Wow.
And I said, can I take it down? I don't take down things I post on my Facebook page. How dare? She said, listen, I'm asking you, please. We use this as a way of telling, of when we have one, she said, we have one time to pick in California. She's from California.
Right.
She says, we have one time to pick a judge. We either say yay or nay for that judge to hear the case. And we look at these websites and we use it for our civil cases. So if everyone starts to go on there and report the judges, it'll be like Yelp. So I wrote to them, I wrote to people and said, wait a minute. I said, what is your website supposed to be used? And they said, this is for the public.
That's right.
Not for lawyers. But this is a secret. So you can't, even if a judge sentenced somebody, all these people sitting in jail who shouldn't be in jail, who spent 20, 30 years in jail.
Right.
They're not rating the judge that sentenced them, that did something
why
wrong.
Shouldn't the people be able to weigh in? Because the judges are actually judging the people's actions. That's why we should have a voice in it. That's why you do have a voice when you eat in a restaurant, because you're eating it. It makes clear sense, but that's the way that I think politics works, that they do want to take the power away from the people, and we don't really understand our true rights, which is several. We have plenty of rights. We just don't know them. We don't know where to find them. We don't know how to approach the situation from the beginning. And when you do, like you did, to make awareness possible, then you have this pressure. Well, why are you doing that? Because it's for everybody. That's why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? It's important.
Because it's for everybody. And what I did was Mr. Warfield posted it on his Facebook page.
Oh, I'm going to post it on mine too.
He posted it and I posted it. I went around. She doesn't even know that I have another Facebook page. I posted it on there. You're not going to tell me.
Yes.
This is for the people.
Right.
When did this? So this becomes an issue for us all the time.
Yeah. And a censoring also.
And
trying to censor our voices and the information that we're exposed to and receive.
But now this was a lawyer of color. It wasn't.
I
this is a lawyer of color. So this is bad.
Yes.
And so continually, the criminal justice system doesn't work for us, and that's why. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that information.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome, dear.
That was the bestest ever.
Thank you so much.
So what I didn't ask in the beginning of Ms. Franklin and you also, Ms. Red, since you're already talking, can you give us a little background, what you shared with me the other day about your recent background with law enforcement?
Well, I was a parole officer for the state of New York for 20 years. So I'm very versed on criminal justice issues, judges, the corruption.
If anybody knows, I'm gonna say it's you. Miss Franklin, I would like for you to share your background in ministry as well, if you don't mind. You're muted out there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I've been, I'm actually doing a lot of things in ministry. I mean, I work a lot with the youth. That's really where my passion is, with the youth and the young adults. And what I do is I'm an intercessor. So I go to different churches, different communities, and just kind of like, you know, get prayer requests and just pray, take a lot of things to Christ. My desire, and what I really enjoy doing is going, like, I'm not really like a church girl. I really enjoy just kind of going out and just sharing, you know, sharing with people about Christ and just about having faith and trying to encourage a lot of people. So I'm basically an evangelist, and I've been doing that for some time now. And I'm actually from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I am now.
So my friend out in London, it's 2:00 in the morning. I guess she fell asleep, so I wanted her to be able to jump on there. But I am very thankful that you all, you know, joined in, because I wanted you as my partners in this business to understand, you know, we get a lot of training to be insurance agents. I mean, life insurance is a serious business. You're dealing with people's money, dealing with people's lives. But while you're dealing with that, you have a life of your own. And I wanted you both to appreciate, I had these two young ladies to kind of back up my cause, if you would, or my movement I'm trying to create, how important it is to have financial education and how to be well educated on the way the laws work in this country. And hearing both of these young ladies, it actually encourages me to, you know, fight even harder. And I'm using Census to help me do that. So that is, in another way, is me helping you understand how whatever it is that you want to do, you know, I don't want to share your why because that's yours, but whatever it is that you want to do, I want you to be able to understand that you can achieve that success using this platform, and I'm here with you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop recording because I got something really special I want to say real quick. Let me go ahead to the stop button. Let me say goodbye to whoever's watching. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
All right, man.
There you go.